Full chimneys on this house, big front porch. As we look at the canal and the bypass, we come over here and look at this stonework. Here we are looking at some of the structures above Lock 38. A little bit behind the stonework, some old buildings, farm buildings, barns and houses that are now part of the Park Service. We're going to take a look at them. Kind of a side view. Let's go up and see what we see. Old fence post. Look at the old metal work there on this outbuilding, we'll call it. The ironwork here. This door. It's got another door. We look up, the rafters are log. This fence, a feed trough or water trough. This is cool, isn't it? There's like a little sidewalk bridge and one up above it. Guess when it gets wet and this runs, it'll keep you out of it. Let's take a look at this building. Look at this, a post with a 6 on it. Some large stones. Here's this bigger barn. Look back at the first one. It's got big gates on there, iron straps, hand forged. Coming around the side, we see a door down low, a door up above. Looking at the first building, there's a door up above. Here at the back of the building, we see it has one door. Swing over to the second building. We see some concrete work there that was poured. No door in the back. Now we're on the uphill side of the second building. No door there, but this was a well. There was a well here at one time. Probably hand dug. Let's look over here to the edge of the downspout. It went into a pipe at one time. So that raises the question of, was that a cistern instead? See what else we see. We passed a couple buildings, but we'll catch them in a bit. There's some stonework around this building. A little door in the back. It's probably the little house. And you say, what's a little house? Well, that's the old term for an outhouse. And the stonework here. Kind of get an eye on that and see how all the water was channeled down. Sidewalk. Of course, a sidewalk to the little house. You say you want to see in there? Well, let's go take a look. The door's open. Oh, look at that. It's a 2-holer. Man, this was a big farm then. Stone wall over to this building. Back down here to the second building, because there's some other stuff we want to see. So we look over here to this stonework. We see the remains of a fence on top of it. Looking over here, we're going to look at these buildings. Here's a door on that. And it's right up against the fence. Well, there's a little bit of room behind it. You say you want to peek inside the building? I think we can get up to this gap and look in. I see a wood floor. It's got some sections to it. Now we're in that other section, taking a look at it. Taking a look at the door here, and it's been replaced. Peek inside. I don't know if we're seeing any more. It looks like supports there to hold the roof up. Looking at this next outbuilding. Walk around the front of it. It's got a door on it. Old ironwork. So this building, not sure what it was used for, but it only had one door and no windows. And all the boards were close together. As we look around, we're back in the front again. We're going to check out this building. Like an outdoor pen. A door, maybe we can look inside here. Don't see too much. Here's another door with some replacement hinges and an old one at the bottom. We can peek in here over the door. That was interesting, that look inside. Let's see what else we see. On the other side we see another pen. Had a small door there. Got one at the top too. This building has some stonework. Looks like a sidewalk type thing. And the big sidewalk up here against the road. The back of the building, no door, slatted bottom. Some big stones there. Let's look up at the other end. That just looks like poured concrete. Old. It did have some kind of concrete drive up there. Let's walk here. This is stonework holding the old fence up where the house is. Here's some inviting steps inviting us in. Let's take them up on it. Let's go head up these nice limestone steps. Looks like it was a flower garden there on the right. Sidewalk over to the barnyard. See a couple chimneys on this house. Big front porch. In the window here, and it looked like just a small room, and it was empty. Look at the old door. Big glass in the top to let light in. Really set back. Another little storage room door. That's the one we peeked in. And look inside. We can see a fireplace there. Some steps. Can't see much to the right because of the reflection. Like it's a pretty good sized room. Window. Oh, and as we look down, the plaster's fallen off and it's stone. So this was a stone building. That's why it was so recessed. I thought that when I saw it. I'm coming across the porch, and where it's located could very well be a cistern. Looking at the guttering and all. Let's walk over here. Yeah, it came down in here and probably channeled over. Important to have a source of water. You see this section is brick on top of stone and like a cellar door. It's off the main house. It was an addition, and then here's another addition, and it looks like, we back up, we can see a peaked roof, so it was another building built on. We'll stick our nose in this knot hole and kind of see what we can see. We're back over here toward the outhouse, but looking up at this addition, and it has another addition on it and a window. In the olden days, if you had to go, you came out your front door, walked down here, down the steps, across the sidewalk, over to the little house. Across the front of the house, we're at the upper end, and we can see where there used to be a gate, some metal work. Maybe there was a fence that went out. Foundations all over. Let's take a look back here. See a brick chimney going up on what was obviously an addition. Then we look over at the main house, which is stone, which had its own chimney and a window. Look down that toward the back. It had some fencing at one time. This almost looks like it channeled water down. Looking across the front yard, like a sidewalk going up to the main house. This could have been a tenant house. Let's walk over and see what else we have here. Some more like ditches or sidewalk. Boy, it looks more like a ditch to channel water. But then it just ends here and goes into the yard. We'll just walk up this channel and see what we see. Not much but a fence. We'll have to go around it. Looking back at the buildings we just saw. Here we're coming up to the main house. Stone wall with steps. Kind of looking around to see what we can see. Looks like a parking spot here or two. Right out to the road. Let's go look at this stonework over here before we look at the house. See a stone there, could have been original, and the rest could be covered with concrete. Here's a cistern. And we'll go see what this stuff is. It has some steps up to it. I'm thinking it's a cistern too. Has an overflow. Where it is, it was probably a cistern. Came off the original gutter off the top of the house. Well, we're here. Let's look at this house. Looking up. Line comes down and it has a front porch that was planned in. Two cisterns, one there and the one we just looked at. As we come across, we see it has a window with a window above it on the next floor up and an attic window as it peaks. Well, we see this window. This will give us an opportunity to kind of peek inside. Straight in, looks like a fireplace with a wood stove in front of it. Stone fireplace with a nice mantel. This looks like a kitchen area. There's an old cupboard. Hardwood floors. Looking at the chinking, we see the smooth chinking here, which is what we'd expect for a house this old. But as we come around the front, we see an attempt at a rope chinking, which was probably done in the restoration. This window could have been replaced at one time. We see brick across the front of the house. Some of the design on the post. Another window, we can go peek in that one too. So as we look in, we see the fireplace, the wood stove. Look over to the left, we see steps going up. Taking a look at the front door, we see it's got a window in the middle. Do you think anyone's home? We can always knock. We'd be surprised if somebody answered. We make our way off the porch. We see another stone structure. We'll take a look at that too. But here beside the house, as we look up, two windows, one on the main level, one in the attic. Brick on top, stone fireplace, and also steps that go up. We step back to get a view of the upper floor, the porch up there. People probably sat out there and watched the traffic go by, crossed it over to Shepherdstown. Let's swing and look at our building. Let's go get an up close look. Looking at the downhill side, it's stone with a little bit of wood on top. We'll go up those steps in a second. Let's look across the front. Across the front, the roof pitches to the right. It has one door. Let's go look at the side. It comes down to the ground. All right, let's go up those steps and get a better look at the side of the house. I do see another window over there. Wonder how many people walked up these steps before us. Probably a lot. In the back we see flowers, purple flowers. We see a wall that's taller than this outbuilding next to us. The second floor window. And you know we're gonna go peek inside. There's steps going up to the attic. There's a door. We can see through a little bit there to another room. And there's more steps taking us up to the back. As we pan across, that looks like a little driveway to get up to the back of the house. Back of the house is stone, no window. Looking down at the downhill side of the house and the stonework on the back of the house. Up above the stone house is some more foundations. We see concrete here. We'll walk over to that wall and see if there's anything to see. Well, it's got pins sticking out. Something was bolted down here. There's a little loop. That's interesting. And over. Well, whatever was here is gone now. Just to make it official, here's a U.S. National Park Service boundary marker. Across the road we see a house. That's been redone and someone lives in there now, so we're not going to go peek at any windows or anything. We'll take a look at the front of the house. It really looks nice. It's real brick. Look how the door's inserted. Little gap there in front of it. You can tell those walls are thick. And looking at the downhill side of it. Alright, we're going to head on. A built-up platform that was probably to get in a carriage or to help with loading a wagon or unloading. Sitting down here on Canal Road, just down from the big brick house. See you next time.